This is a very precise recipe that will guarantee you to make the perfect batter and to cook the thinnest crepes ever. Find out the secrets of the traditional Ukrainian way of cooking pancakes. Nalysnyky, Mlyntsi, there are many names for this kind of dish. Let's go ahead and start. Today I'm going to fry more than 60 thin crepes or Ukrainian pancakes, so I can fill half of them with red caviar and the rest of them can be served with strawberry or apricot jam. Take a 3-liter bowl and fill it up with 6 raw eggs. Whisk the eggs until they are well mixed. By the way, it is better not to use a mixer at all while you are preparing the pancakes. Otherwise, you will end up creating a lot of bubbles in the batter that can ruin your crepes while frying them. Then you should add 6 spoons of sugar. One way to remember how much sugar that you should add is to add the same number of spoons of sugar as the number of eggs. So, in the case of 4 eggs, you will need 4 spoons of sugar. Of course, you can always make your pancakes sweeter, but I prefer to follow this ratio, because you can always stuff your pancakes with something salty, like salmon or caviar, which will also turn out perfectly. And don't forget to add a pinch of salt as well. And here is the main secret. Add exactly 30 spoons of flour. If you use spoons as a method of measurement, your batter will always be of the right consistency each time. And now it is time for the second secret. If you want to get a smooth batter without any lumps, start adding milk gradually. This way you will achieve the appropriate consistency and get a well-mixed batter. If you take your time doing this, then you won't need to crush any lumps that could appear. Use a whisk or a fork. If lumps happen to appear, take a ladle and crush the lumps against the sides of the bowl. Now it's time to add 6 spoons of olive oil into the batter so the pancakes will not stick on the pan. I prefer to use olive oil, but you can always use some other oil as long as it's odorless and unflavored. If you cook fewer pancakes, you should use the same number of spoons of oil as the number of eggs. Try not to overstir the oil in the batter, and this is how your batter should appear after stirring it. Now you are ready to fry your first pancake. Some Ukrainian women use the sliced end of a potato to brush a thin layer of oil on the pan, while some of them use a brush or a piece of bread to do this instead. This is a great way to make the first pancake come out perfectly. If you put too much oil, your crepe will come out really oily. If you put too little, it can stick to the pan and end up getting burned. Here in Ukraine, we even have an idiom that says, "The first pancake is always the lumpy one," which should remind us not to expect the first attempt to be the most successful. After frying your first pancake, there is no need to oil your pan anymore, because the last crepe will always leave enough oil for the next pancake. When you see the edges of the crepe become darker, that's when you should flip it over. I like to do this by using a wooden spatula to lift the edges and then picking it up with my left hand and flip the crepe over. But I know some people who can actually throw the pancakes up into the air to flip them over. In general, you will need a few minutes to fry a pancake on each side, so if you want to fry 30 crepes, it can take about an hour. You can also use another pan at the same time, so you can speed things up. While frying the pancakes, I decided to take some butter out of the fridge to let it soften at room temperature and prepare some red caviar. Now I will show you the way I like to fill the pancakes with caviar. Spread some butter on the crepe and then place some caviar on it. Then start rolling the crepe with your hand. And don't be surprised when you find out that these pancakes won't last long because your family will gobble them up in one sitting. If you want to treat your guests with Nalysnyky or stuffed Ukrainian pancakes, cut them with a knife at an angle right down the middle of the crepe and serve them with some herbs. Enjoy your meal and see you next time! Please hit the like and subscribe button so you can watch more videos like this in the future. Bye bye!